Imagine this. You've worked hard all your life, and now, after 65, you deserve peace, happiness, and good health. But what if some of your own relatives are standing in the way of that? What if the very people you trusted are the ones draining your energy, emotions, and even your finances? Today, we'll uncover the 5 types of relatives you should avoid after 65, and trust me, number 5 will leave you speechless. Imagine this. You've worked your entire life, saved up and planned for your golden years. You finally have the time to enjoy life, travel, relax, and do the things you always dreamed of. But suddenly, a relative comes knocking at your door. It starts small, a little financial help here, a loan there. They promise to pay you back, but they never do. At first, you don't think much of it because helping family feels natural, but then it becomes a pattern. The requests get bigger, the excuses more elaborate, and before you know it, you find yourself feeling used. This is the reality many older adults face. A relative who constantly borrows money without repaying can become a significant problem. They often have a story that tugs at your heart. Unexpected medical bills, job loss, or some emergency that only you can solve. They assure you it's just this once, but what happens when it's not? What happens when just this once turns into an expectation? Suddenly, your retirement savings, the money you carefully put aside for your future, starts disappearing. At 65 and beyond, financial stability isn't just about security. It's about freedom. You deserve to enjoy your life without worrying about someone else's poor decisions or bad money habits. You spent decades being responsible, saving, and planning. Why should someone else's lack of planning become your burden? It's important to recognize that constantly helping a financially irresponsible relative doesn't actually help them. It enables them. It allows them to continue making bad choices while you bear the consequences. The hardest part: these relatives often know exactly how to manipulate your emotions. They use guilt, reminding you of times when you leaned on family for support. They bring up past favors, twist words, and make you feel as though saying no makes you selfish. But let's be clear. Prioritizing your financial well-being is not selfish. It's necessary. You don't owe anyone your savings, your retirement fund, or your peace of mind. And remember, once you open the door to constant lending, it becomes very hard to close it. Let's talk about something even trickier: emotional manipulation. We all have that one relative who knows exactly how to make us feel bad. You know the one. The moment you don't give in to their demands, they suddenly act hurt. They sigh dramatically, remind you of all they've done for you, and make you feel like the worst person in the world. They use phrases like, "After everything I've done for you," or, "I guess family doesn't mean much to you anymore." It's exhausting. But here's the truth. Love and respect are not built on guilt. A healthy family relationship isn't about obligation, it's about mutual care and understanding. Guilt tripping is a form of control. It's a way of making you question your decisions, even when you know deep down that you're doing what's best for you. This kind of manipulation doesn't just affect your emotions, it affects your health. Stress, anxiety, and feelings of obligation can take a toll on your well-being. The older you get, the more important it is to protect your peace. You've spent a lifetime being there for others, but now it's time to be there for yourself. If a relative constantly makes you feel bad for setting boundaries, that's not love, that's control. Think about how much energy is drained from these interactions. Every time you pick up the phone, you brace yourself for another guilt trip. Every visit turns into an emotional battlefield, and at the end of it you feel exhausted, unappreciated, and maybe even a little resentful. Is that how you want to spend your gold? You have the power to say no. You have the right to set boundaries without explanation or apology. You don't owe anyone justification for prioritizing your own happiness. The best part? Once you break free from these toxic cycles, you create space for genuine connections, relationships that bring you joy, not stress. Some people may not like the new, boundary-setting version of you. That's okay. You're not responsible for their reaction. What matters is that you choose peace over pressure, joy over obligation, and freedom over financial or emotional strain. Picture this. You wake up on a beautiful morning, ready to enjoy your day. Maybe you have plans to meet friends, take a peaceful walk, or simply relax with a good book. But then, your phone rings. You see the name and instantly your mood shifts. You already know what's coming: drama. The moment you pick up, you're hit with a wave of chaos. Someone is fighting with someone else, there's a new crisis, and somehow you're supposed to get involved. We all have that one relative who thrives on drama. Every conversation with them feels like a soap opera. There's always some betrayal, some major argument, some outrageous situation that demands attention. And guess what? They expect you to be right in the middle of it. They want your opinion, your sympathy, your energy. Before you know it, your peaceful morning has turned into a stressful mess. This type of relative is draining. Their life is in constant turmoil, and they want to pull you in. Maybe they aren't even aware of how much negativity they bring, but the impact is the same. The more time you spend listening to their problems, the less time you have for yourself. The more you try to help, the more tangled you become in their never-ending cycle of issues. The hardest part is that they often disguise it as needing support. They make you feel like you're the only person who truly understands them. They'll say things like, "I just need someone to talk to," or "You're the only one who listens." And because you care, you keep picking up that phone, replying to those texts, and getting pulled into their whirlwind. But the question is, what do you get in return? Do they ever ask about your well-being? Do they ever check in on how you're feeling? Or is it always about them? Peace. You've worked too hard and lived too long to let someone else's chaos become your burden. There is nothing wrong with offering support, but when it comes at the cost of your own mental and emotional health, it's time to step back. Imagine how much lighter your days could feel without the constant weight of someone else's problems. Imagine waking up and knowing that today is yours, not someone else's crisis to manage. And then there's another kind of relative, one that doesn't bring drama, but instead brings criticism. Every time you see them, it feels like an evaluation. They look you up and down, make a comment about your weight, your clothes, the way you walk or talk. They question your decisions, your lifestyle, your choices. It doesn't matter what you do, it's never good enough. At first you might laugh it off. Maybe you tell yourself, that's just how they are. But over time, those little comments start to stick. You start doubting, especially from family. You start wondering if maybe they're right, if maybe you should be doing support, but instead you get judgment. When they win, and the worst part, they often disguise it as concern. I'm just looking out for you. I just want what's best for you. But if someone truly wanted the best for you, they wouldn't make you feel small. They wouldn't tear you down under the guise of helping. You've spent a lifetime growing, learning, and becoming who you are. No one has the right to make you feel like that's not enough. At this stage in your life, your happiness matters more than someone else's opinion. If a relative can't accept you for who you are, that's their problem, not yours. It's easy to feel obligated to stay in touch with these people, to keep showing up, to keep enduring their words. But ask yourself, why? Why should you allow negativity into your life when you don't have to? You have the power to walk away from conversations that make you feel bad. You have the right to surround yourself with people who lift you up instead of breaking you down. Imagine a life where your days are filled with positivity, where every interaction leaves you feeling lighter, not heavier. That life is possible, but only if you make the choice to step away from those who drain you. Not everyone deserves access to your time, energy, or emotions. And the moment you realize that, you set yourself free. Imagine someone in your family who suddenly starts showing you an unusual amount of attention. They call more often, they check in on your health, they offer to help with errands. At first it feels nice. Finally, someone who seems to care. But then little things start to happen. They ask questions about your finances. They casually mention how complicated managing money can be. They suggest that maybe you need help making decisions. They might even start handling small tasks for you, taking over responsibilities that you've always managed just fine on your own. It all seems innocent at first, but slowly, control begins to shift. Maybe they start managing your bills or making purchases on your behalf. They justify it as making things easier for you, but one day you realize that they're not just helping, they're taking over. And by the time you recognize what's happening, it feels too late to stop. This is the fake caregiver, the relative who pretends to have your best interests at heart, but has a hidden motive. They might be after your money, your property, or simply the power of making decisions on your behalf. They don't do things out of kindness, they do them to gain control. This is why you must stay alert. If someone who never cared before suddenly becomes deeply involved in your life, ask yourself why. Genuine care comes without expectations. A real caregiver helps without trying to take charge. Be wary of anyone who makes decisions for you without asking, who tries to control your assets, or who discourages you from seeking outside advice. These are all red flags. The last thing you need in this phase of life is to lose control over the things you've worked so hard for. Taking care of yourself isn't just about health, it's about independence. No one should make you feel like you're incapable when you're not. No one should make choices for you unless you specifically ask them to. And most importantly, no one should have access to your finances unless you've made that choice willingly. If something feels off, trust your instincts. Your life is yours to live, and no one has the right to take that from you. And that brings us to something even more important, your happiness. You've spent years working, providing, and sacrificing. Now is the time to enjoy life, to find joy in the things that matter most. Yet, too many people let others dictate how they should feel. They surround themselves with people who drain them instead of lifting them up. They tolerate toxic relationships out of obligation. But at this stage, ask yourself, why? You are not responsible for making everyone else happy. You don't have to attend every family event, answer every phone call, or say yes when you really want to say no. Your time is valuable, and you deserve to spend it with people who make you feel good about yourself. If someone constantly brings negativity into your life, you don't. There's a big difference between family and the people who truly love and respect you. Love is supportive, not demanding. It feels light, not heavy. It brings peace, not stress. And most importantly, love is given freely, not as a tool to manipulate or control. The moment you prioritize your happiness, everything changes. You start making choices that bring you joy instead of just keeping others happy. You surround yourself with people who genuinely care, not just those who want something from you. And perhaps most importantly, you start living for yourself, not for the expectations of others. Imagine waking up each morning knowing that your day belongs to you. Imagine making plans that excite you, spending time with people who bring you laughter, and filling your life with moments that make you truly happy. That life is possible, but only if you choose it. It starts with deciding who deserves your time and who doesn't. It starts with letting go of guilt and obligation. It starts with choosing yourself.